Yo, what up, everybody? Cooltrainercheese here, in the skin. Cheese joke. Well, anyway, today we're going to be doing something a little differently. If you've watched my content before, you know this isn't my typical content to kind of rant and rave on here. I like to make little cute videos with cool cards, which I still like to do. However, today's topic is something that I did want to talk about. I usually do a rant thing on my Instagram story, so if you follow me there, you already know I speak my mind sometimes. So we're going to get into that right now. I do want to also make a few disclaimers. One, I am no Pokemon expert. Most of what I'm saying is opinion. I've also heard things that are straight up hearsay. So I take my video with a grain of salt. I really just wanted to give my opinion on everything, more importantly. And typically when I am talking about some type of topic, I like to weigh the good and the bad. Although things are grim, and things are not that great in the Pokemon community right now in terms of the TCG. And maybe other aspects, I don't know. But, this is my opinion, and I like to weigh the good with the bad. I like to play both sides of the field so that you're not always expecting the worst case scenario. But let's get into it. So the next special sets that release are Black Bolt and White Flare. This is a special set that's going to drop in July. However, for the first time, at least in English, we are going to have two separate sets released at the same time. So there's going to be a Black Bolt ETB. There's going to be a White Flare ETB, for example. And those are two different sets. Things are going to be split. I don't know how, but two different things. So the big thing is, why now? Pokemon has this stuff planned so far in advance, and I don't think that they were able to stop this. But I think that these sets dropping in this manner is really insult to injury. And some, including myself, may say this is a bit tone deaf from Pokemon. If you're not familiar with the TCG problem, there is just a lot of demand and not a lot of supply. So people are going to Walmarts and Targets and all these other big box stores, and there's nothing to find. They're going to card shops where things are very high priced because card shops have whatever reasoning there is. It's none of my business. So with those two things happening, you also have the online stuff happening where people are going to whatever site it is, whether it's Pokemon Center or anything else, and they have to fight bots. People are using bots, and it's just a very easy way to get product without having to manually do it and have real people helping you. So there's a lot of fighting that people have to do to get product. And speaking of fighting, there is literal fighting at stores. That's crazy. I don't really see it much at a card shop really, but more the big box stores. You see it a lot. People fighting, people racing each other to get to the thing and clear the shelves. All these things are happening right now. And, other things are going up. The cost of Pokemon is going up in terms of what stores are paying and stuff like that. Not all stores, but some. So that's some hearsay. However, there's another problem here, which is although people can pick one set and they can just say, well, I'm just going to open this or that. We're already in a position where we shouldn't have to do that. And you're already in a position where you're lucky to get one of a regular set where there's only one variant of that. So you have that. You have the most illustration cards in a set ever between the two of them, which is 156 between IRs and SIRs in English. So you have that. You have Pokeballs and Master Balls coming back. If you're a completionist, I'm so sorry that you are going to be going through this. But if you just casually want to open, you're also in a tough spot. So let's talk about the two sets, right? So you just get one or the other. You don't get this one on Pokemon Center, you go buy the other one. Here's when things get a little complicated. So out of these two, there's probably going to be a fan favorite. There's probably going to be one set that outweighs the other. Now, when you have that happening, now everybody that wanted the really popular set all has to fight you have to fight way more people. And you're like, well, I'm less likely to get this. You can still try, and then there's other people who are trying to get the lesser popular set, and they get it because they just wanted that. Now you're just creating all this animosity. I think the main problem with this too is that if it's so hard already for people to get an ETB of Prismatic, for example, or anything like that. Now let's stay on Prismatic. Prismatic had this wild phenomenon where hearsay, opinion, I don't state this as fact, but there may have been some distributors who may have charged $120 plus for prismatic ETBs out the gate or in a restock, reprint, whatever. Now we're seeing this from essentially the core, right? This is the distributors are doing this to the stores, and then the stores charge you, me, and everybody else money. So the issue with that is you run into this really weird problem where big box stores are getting more product. Really big stores in general are just getting a lot of product. It seems like a lot of the people further down that trickle down, they don't see any of that. Small shops, and again, I can't really speak on me and my allocation because if you're not familiar, I run Cheesestreasures. That is not a plug. You do not have to check that out. You can just watch this video and be on your way. Thank you. But you know, even on that end, you know, there are shops that are getting lower and lower allocations. Pokemon's printing more and more. They're putting out statements stating so. And then whether you want to believe me or anybody else, you could believe your fellow collector. And most collectors I know are having the most difficult time. First off, prismatic gets cleared out no matter where it is. So that's already a popular set. More prismatic. So hit rate's crazy. Theory, opinion, not fact. Okay, I'm just going to make that clear. If this is, you know, what my theory is, there's a lot of SIRs in prismatic, and there's a lot of god packs and demigod packs. And now when you combine all of that, were those hits taken out of the single pack SIR situation where like you just get one SIR, that's it? Did they all get moved to those? Because everybody's reporting that it's incredibly hard to hit an SIR out of prismatic. Now, you have this problem where nobody can get product, and then it's really expensive. Nobody's getting anything. Now, combine that with Surging, where everybody had the same problem, and Journey, where people are having a similar problem, where Journey has better hit rates, but still hard to get. Still available, and then it gets cleared out or whatever. I'm actually going to make a small, maybe not Journey, because Journey is, people aren't really, it's a small set. Thank God. I'm just saying, cool down. Pick up some Journey while it's cheap, please. Destined Rivals, full crazy, full through the roof. Black and white set. Now, here's where I think there is a split. I think we're at a time where hype will never die down. There is going to be no dying down of the hype, at least for the next year. But here's the thing. Here's the positive. And this is, I kind of want to just end the video with this. And I appreciate anybody who would listen to me rant and rave here. I just wanted to speak my opinion on this. Now, this can go where there's so much hype that no matter what happens, things will get hyped. One of these sets could get hyped more than the other. Now you run into that problem. But here's where, if you're a core collector and you don't chase the Gen 1s and the 151s and things like that, then I think you're going to be in a good spot. Because although there's going to be a lot of illustration cards and the sets are split, the saving grace is that there are a lot of people who do not care for black and white era Pokemon or the cards or anything like that from that era. The other good thing is there is no Charizard. There is no Venusaur. There's no Blastoise. There's no Pikachu. There's no Mew, Mewtwo. There's no Birds. There's no Lugia. None of that. None of these very popular Pokemon are going to be in this set. And I think that is going to shut a lot of people out who just follow trends and blindly buy and sell, collect, whatever. So people may find out last minute, oh, there's no Pikachu, there's no anything. Oh, I don't want any of that. And that, I think, combined with them maybe printing this set a bit more and finally us seeing that, could result in a lot of this product being available. Some other things are kind of trickling down. Destined, I don't know what's going to happen with that. RIP that set. But it could be good. So I think that there's a lot of uncertainty in the hobby. I think that there's a lot of speculation. I think that if things can go well with this, and even after that Pokemon does continue to print more, we could start to finally see things healing, if you will. So with all that being said, I think that this is terrible timing. I think that Pokemon should not have done this yet, or I don't know, maybe delayed the set. Maybe I don't think you could have stopped this. I think it was a train that was moving, and they just were like, well, this is what's happening while this is going. However, I do advise everybody to please speak out to whoever you want, your retailer, your TPCI. I mean, you know, there's reports of all this, you know, they're reprinting, these stores are getting this and that. And lots of collectors are not saying the same thing. They are not seeing any of that. You know, you're seeing your typical person selling, who wherever that may be, with all of these things that they just left with Walmart, and they got the Walmart bag in the picture. That doesn't solve anything. So we'll see. I think that this is going to be a great set. I'm disappointed that it's split into two. It just makes it so much more difficult to get, whether you want to open this or that. Ideally, if the hits rates are really good, and these cards, there's tons of illustration cards for 50 cents, $1, $2, whatever. At least people can still get a lot of their favorite Pokemon and do what it do. So there is some good. I really wanted to rant about this though, because if you're feeling like what the fuck, you're not alone. This is a questionable decision in my opinion. You know, we're not seeing anything change over this past like 6 or 8 months. Hopefully this is it. If this isn't it, I don't know when we see some type of change. So let's stay on the positive side. And I will say, you know, I will be very grateful to open anything I can. I'm always grateful to open any packs. You know, if you get lucky, congrats. You know, it's crazy that you even have to really like talk about it like this, but that's what's happening right now. That's my opinion. That's it. I hope you like this. If you stayed to the end, thank you so much. This is my first like rant video. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. I do like to just kind of weigh in between things and just let's discuss. You know, it's healthy to talk about these things and try to find a solution or some type of resolution or whatever that may be. That's it. That's all I got. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all so much. Peace out, everybody.